back in the Peak District, guys, and look at the weather. What a day for it. It's beautiful. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to, if you live in England, a sort of sense of freedom. So in England, the stay-at-home order has been lifted, and we're now allowed to travel a bit further afield for our activities. So it's really good for us landscape photographers and hikers, because we can now go, well, hence this is why I'm in the Peak District, because we're allowed to travel a bit further. So I've parked in the beautiful village of Wetton, which is not too far from Ilham. Correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's in the south of the Peak District. And the route I've plotted, which, funny enough, if you look at it, I put it up on the screen, looks kind of like the continent of South America. So the route takes me down into the Manifold Valley. Again, correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm pretty sure it's called that. Onto the Manifold Way, which is a trail that runs along the River Manifold and the River Hamps, I believe. So it sees me going north towards the Wetton Mill, and then I turn west, doing a bit of a loop, before coming back down south through the village of Grindon, down to Waterhouse, where I join the Manifold Way again, where I then head north back up to Wetton, and it's going to be a pretty good walk. I think, let me just check. I'm going to check how long the walk is. It's about 8 miles, so it's pretty hefty walk. And most of it's going to be on the trail, so it's going to be fairly easy. But some of it's going to be up some steep hills and stuff like that. I'm going to focus on the exploration today. It's not the weather's really nice, but it's not the ideal for landscape photography. So I'm focusing on the exploration. One, because I've not really been able to go out and explore the Peak District for a long time, and two, because it's just fun, isn't it? Now, I don't know if you can see through the trees behind me. Probably can't. Just there. That is a place called Thor's Cave, and I'm going to head up there now. It's going to be really interesting. It's a big cave in the side of this cliff here. Let's head up there and take a look at it. Apologies guys, if you can't tell, I'm not currently in Thor's Cave. I'm at home, and I'd be a bit worried if you couldn't tell, considering this definitely doesn't look like a really old cave. But basically, by the time I got into Thor's Cave, the wind was so loud, there were people milling about, and someone was even flying a drone in there, and it was just too loud for me to get any good audio for you guys, so I thought I'd talk to you about the cave in the comfort of my own house. So excavations have found evidence of human activity in Thor's Cave dating back to about 11,000 years ago, and there's evidence showing that humans had occupied the cave up until about the Roman or Saxon times, which makes it the oldest site in the Peak District with human activity, which is crazy, really cool. Now, I have been to Thor's Cave before, so I've got a photo that I'll put up for you to have a look at. One looking out from inside the cave out to the valley below, which I really like. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. Past me is going to head off to Wetton Mill now to go and have a look at that really old bridge. I think there's a really old bridge near there, so let's go. So it's safe to say it's a lot less windy down there than up at Thor's Cave. That was absolutely awful. I'm back on the Manifold Trail now, and I've just walked past a place called Wetton Mill, which is just behind this bridge here. But what really caught my attention was this bridge. It's just really old and it looks really nice. As I was walking down the Manfrotto trail, I noticed there was no water in the river, which really struck me as quite odd. But luckily, there's a fair bit of water flowing underneath this bridge here, so that's going to really add to the photo. It's a very simple photo. I'm not doing any sort of long exposures or anything like that. It's literally just a photo of this bridge, just to show off the detail of the bridge, and especially with this nice weather, it's just going to look really pretty. It's a pretty photo. I don't have to use my tripod. I really wish I didn't bring the tripod with me, to be honest. I've got enough light here to get some quick shutter speeds. Also, because I'm using a wide angle lens, I'm using a 10 to 20mm lens here, and I'm going to be shooting at about 12mm. You don't have to worry too much about having slower shutter speeds, because wider angle lenses tend to deal with the camera shake better. So really didn't need to bring that tripod with me, and I kind of wish I didn't. It's really lugging me down. I reckon my bag's weighing about 20 kilograms at the moment. Oh well, so on to the composition. As I said, it's of this bridge. It's very simple, but what I've added in the foreground is this clump of grass just down here, because I think it gives a nice little bit of foreground and it adds another element to the photograph. So I'm going to be on like fairly wide angle. It's about 12mm, like I said. F11. ISO 100, ISO 400 actually, just so I can get a bit of a quicker shutter speed. And then the shutter speed is at 100th of a second. I'll take the photo, I'll pop it up for you to have a look at, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to head off on the next part of my journey. It's quite a long way round, so when you next see me I'll be at the village of Grindon, because there's a really nice looking church there which I want to go and have a look at. Let's go. Right, so I've made it to the quaint little village of Grindon. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, by the way, because I really do like to learn the correct pronunciations of these names. I'm currently stood in front of the All Saints Church, which is this really old building behind me. And when I say old, I mean really old. The origins of this church date back to the 11th century, and the organ inside it was built in the 1840s, which is crazy. Really old stuff, guys. And you can't not be a photographer and not take a photo of this, so that's why I'm taking it. I've actually gone a bit off course, and originally my route would have taken me kind of in front of the church through the graveyard, and I would have taken the shot head on. It would have just been the church. But the way I've gone actually has offered me up a really nice composition, which is what you can see here. So it is essentially that. And the reason I really like it is because these old trees are framing the church, and the dry stone wall is also framing the bottom there. And I just think it really helps place the church. Sets the image. It sets the image, basically. And if I was just shooting head on, yeah, it would be a picture of a church. Very cool. But this really helps just add depth to the image, really. It adds a whole new layer. So, yeah, got the churches. Got the trees. Oh, that's gone bright. I've got the trees framing the church, and the dry stone walls framing at the bottom. One thing I'm not quite sure about these twigs here, they are kind of overlapping over the church a bit, but I'm not going to edit them out because I actually think they could add to the image, because it is showing me my view, and I do think they look quite cool. If there were leaves on the trees, this shot wouldn't work at all, so I'm quite glad they haven't emerged yet. Oh, it is cold and the wind is blowing, which has actually been quite a good thing for me, because it's brought in all these clouds as well, which help add texture to this image. Oh, it's going to be nice. It's going to be a really good photo, I think. I'm on f11, ISO 100 and a 16th of a second. I'll take the photo for you, pop it up for you to have a look at, and then I'm going to carry on with the rest of my walk. I'm going to essentially, well, if you look at the route I've plotted, I'm kind of up on the top left, and I've got to walk down the coast of Chile and then back up the coast of Argentina and Uruguay, and then back to Brazil where my car's parked. And if I get any really good nice images on the way, I will put them up for you to have a look at. Whew, it is cold. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I've thoroughly enjoyed being back out in the Peak District. It's been brilliant, and I've got some fairly nice photos on the way. Once again, thanks for watching, stay safe, and see you later.